staff tours, but we gotta get your feedback on these things. So, any questions about any of the stuff we've covered so far? All right, so we're gonna get into every quarterly meeting. Our next meeting, we're gonna have a presentation from Lieutenant Sevo, retired Lieutenant Sevo who now works at Garnet Valley School District, talking about school safety and response and mitigation and reunification and things. And then Darby Borough is gonna come in September and talk about flood planning, and preparedness, mass care, and issues that they've had to deal with. So best practice presentations are out there. If you have an idea for a best practice or want to present.
Heacock Township Police Department for 15 years. I have been a sergeant since 2018, the EM since 2019, currently in charge of our detective. So I have a lot on my plate. I'm also writing our grants, which are not fun, so I've only written a few, but we've got some success, which is good. So if anybody, honest to God, if you have any questions, I will happily help you in any way, shape, or form I possibly can. Like I said, Villanova was a pain in the butt. Soon down to credit. Greasing the poles does nothing. So I don't know why they still do it. They're greasing the poles, everybody gets up, doesn't do anything. That was Villanova's fault. Badger shower room, really silly. But we have these big screens for the game. We have smaller screens so we can do different information. We can stream different things. PA 511, we can watch traffic cameras from the Blue Route to see if we're getting crowds coming in to celebrate, or if we need safely to shut those off. We don't have to have them there. Villanova's here with their team. We had some folks back there, at least there's that was
Some ideas for all of you. We also want to look at incidents that have happened, right? So we've had a lot of experiences. Just because someone has a apartment building with 80 units and a fire and they have to respond to that and deal with the mass care aspects and some of the other things, doesn't mean we can't all learn from it. Because those are gonna happen in your jurisdiction if it hasn't already happened later. So again, I invite all of you, if you have incidents that you wanna go over, even today, and looks like we're gonna have a little bit of time when we get through this with Chief Sawyer and Upper Darby, if there's incidents that you wanna talk about, and we wanna just let people know about what you did to overcome something, or something went right, something went wrong, things for us to look out for. It's very important that we learn from each other. So I'm gonna turn it over to the chief. Thank you for being here. Pressing the down button to go.
How's everybody doing? All right, so my name is Derrick Sawyer. Fire chief of Darby Township Fire Department, 35 years in the fire service, the last 898 days as the fire chief of Darby Township. So, we have a combination department. We have a kind of a high skill rescue. We rescued 10 people, 9 through ladders that we had to exit rescue members off their balconies, and then another person we rescued internally. We walked them out the building. But think about the coldest night of the year, 10 rescues, and then we also had the fire victim, which is where the fire started. And he was transported in critical condition to Chester. So, an excellent job. Because I've been to many fires where you have 1 or 2 ladders up. They had ladders to every single window, and they were able to actually get 9 people out because of those ladders. Again, normally we have to rescue maybe 1 or 2 people, 10 people. And then once we rescue them, what about the displaced people? Not only the ones that were rescued, but the ones that were able to get out on their own.
All right, great job, Chief. Thanks to the chief. Thank you, Sergeant Gluck. Thank you, Danielle, for hopping in there. Danielle and the citizen court team and all of our resiliency group, is that what we're still calling it? There's a lot of other terms been thrown around. Really do a wonderful job. They're really the boots on the ground response part of our special operations team, which is led by Tom Morgan, who's been in the back tonight. You do a really good job of getting those resources out to you. But remember, when you're asking for resources, tell us what your problem is. You might ask for the left-handed smoke shifter, and we only have right ones, but maybe 3 of the right ones will work for you, right, to get the smoke to turn left. But whatever those things are, we really like to be forward with what we can do for you, but it's your incident. It's your problem. It's the municipal level. We will support you as much as you want to be supported, but you have to be the leader in that realm and take charge of that event. And we're happy to hold you up, hold your hand, bring you stuff, talk on the radio for you, whatever you need. But it's all about making sure the municipality maintains that
All
level.
the emergency management coordinators of who all of our colleagues are, so we can start talking to the other municipalities.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Love that. Another thing, resource list. Mr. Morgan has done a great job of our resource list. I know that's been asked for, and we're working on some response planning around that. Love the idea of making sure it has been now embedded as part of the FEP, or the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Program, within the division, the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Division, or Population Health Division rather, of the new Delaware County Health Department. So those folks over there, many of which were part of our task force operations during COVID, are in the health department and running that program as part of the bigger FEP response. All good? All right. Full-time, volunteered to take on emergency management in addition to your fire chief or police chief or other duty that you have. But it's about our heart. It's about what we do to improve our citizens during that disaster. So you've heard it from Chief Sawyer, you've heard it from Sergeant Gluck, you've heard it from me, you've heard it from Larry Bach, you heard it from Danielle and our team, and others for many years, that we have to continue to challenge ourselves and increase our capacity to serve the growing population of Delaware County. And it's post-COVID, and it's difficult to get motivated, and there's a lot of questions out there about the best ways to do things. But if we can create collaboration within our group and motivate each other to get through hard times, then we're going to be able to be able to show that increased capacity, that increased value, really readily. Because I'm biased, and I've been told I'm too Delco, but I think Delco has the best emergency managers, the best emergency response system that Pennsylvania has to offer. And I mean that sincerely. And it's because we do things differently. It's because we argue and we are steadfast about our history that make us that. And we can continue to bring that together. So here's a list. I'll leave that up there. You take a picture. Obviously, I'm going to be sharing these slides. It's a little big to email, so the link I thought worked, but then yesterday we proved it didn't work, so I'll fix that and we'll get this out to you. But these are the numbers and email addresses of our staff here at Emergency Management. Steve Schultz will be added to this in a couple weeks, and we can't wait to have you on, Steve. It's been really great. So there you go with those contacts. And yes, sir. The numbers are wrong. Well, you should have come to the meeting yesterday, Larry, when we checked to make sure everybody's number was right.
Nobody wants to call you anyway.
We'll improve that. And then, of course,
leave it up there. I'll get more sleep.
you shouldn't have said anything, Larry. And of course, our next meeting will be on June 14th.